BLUEY is packed with heartwarming moments, but it also isn't afraid to show characters dealing with sickness in surprisingly realistic ways. From small background details to major plot points, these are the times BLUEY quietly explored illness in ways you might not have noticed before. In the episode Barnacus and Bumpy, Bingo was in the hospital without much explanation. Instead of focusing on why she was there, the episode followed BLUEY and Bandit making a homemade video to cheer her up. The story they created was about Barnacus, a brave hero on a mission to cure his sick dog, Bumpy. But what exactly happened to Bingo? The episode never said if she had a serious illness, an infection, or maybe even an injury from playing too hard. However, one small detail might give us a clue. At the start, a doctor checked Bingo's breathing, which could mean she was struggling to breathe before being admitted. Another hint comes from the episode Daddy Drop Off in Season 2, where Bandit packed a gluten-free lunch for Bingo. This could suggest she has a gluten allergy, and maybe she had a reaction that affected her breathing. Since then, the Healer family has been extra careful with her meals, while Bandit's mom, Nana, has appeared several times in BLUEY. Chili's mother remains unseen. Even when Chili's dad, Mort, showed up, there was no mention of her. The only hints of her existence come from small details, like the fact that Chili and her sister Brandy seem to have inherited their looks from her. It's heavily implied that Chili lost her mother years ago, likely when she was a young adult or even a teenager. She doesn't appear in any flashbacks, not even when BLUEY was a baby. The show never explains what happened, but one possible theory ties her absence to Bingo's gluten allergy, since allergies can be hereditary. Some fans wonder if Chili's mom had the same condition. Years ago, food allergies weren't as well understood, and people didn't always seek medical help for reactions. If she had an undiagnosed or ignored allergy, it's possible she suffered a severe reaction that led to her passing. It's a sad thought, but BLUEY has never shied away from deep, real-life topics. While many viewers may not think much about Chili's mother, the more observant ones can't help but wonder about the story left untold. One of BLUEY's most touching episodes, Turtle Boy, introduces Dougie, a deaf boy who communicates through Auslan Sign Language. Though the show never explains whether he was born deaf or lost his hearing later in life, fans have speculated about what might have caused it. Some believe Dougie may have developed deafness due to a condition before birth or as a baby. Surprisingly, several illnesses can lead to hearing loss. One of them is mumps, a viral infection that, in severe cases, can damage the ears enough to cause permanent deafness. Another possibility is severe diabetes, which can affect the nerves responsible for hearing. If that were Dougie's case, at least he wouldn't have faced the more extreme complications of the disease, such as vision loss or limb issues. There's also the possibility that Dougie's hearing loss was caused by a tumor affecting the auditory nerves. While rare, some childhood tumors can interfere with hearing and balance. This theory seems especially possible because Dougie is still very young, around Bingo's age, and children are often more vulnerable to certain illnesses. No matter what led to his condition, BLUEY sets a great reminder that disabilities don't define a person. They're just part of who they are. And maybe that's why BLUEY never explains Dougie's backstory, because it doesn't need to. Coco wasn't spared from getting sick either. As we learn in the episode TV Shop, she has worms in her stomach. If you've never had worms before, consider yourself lucky. These parasites can sneak into the body through contaminated food or water, growing inside the stomach and causing symptoms like pain, nausea, and weakness. Years ago, this was especially common in children, particularly in places without access to clean drinking water. Even today, it's still possible for kids to get them. In this episode, Coco and her mom were likely at the store to pick up medicine to get rid of the worms. Thankfully, treatment for this condition is simple, and with the right medication, she would have been back to normal in no time. What's interesting, though, is how BLUEY presents the situation. Even though Coco was sick, she still greeted BLUEY and Bingo with excitement, showing that being unwell doesn't have to be a big, scary thing. Bandit wouldn't have even realized she was sick if Bingo hadn't pointed it out. Like BLUEY's friends, Snickers might also have a hidden condition. At least, that's what some BLUEY fans suspect. This theory gained traction after the episode The Sign, where Snickers didn't go to school. Sure, kids miss school for all sorts of reasons, but if he had simply overslept or had a minor cold, it likely would have been mentioned. But since it wasn't, some believe there could be a deeper explanation. One possibility is that Snickers has a condition that occasionally keeps him from leaving home. This wouldn't be too far-fetched, considering his breed. Snickers is a dachshund, a type of dog known for its long body and short legs. Unfortunately, this unique shape comes with some serious health risks, especially intervertebral disc disease. This condition can cause recurring episodes of pain and, in severe cases, even lead to paralysis. If Snickers does have IVDD, it would explain why he sometimes stays home. Maybe his family is extra cautious on bad days, making sure he gets enough rest. Interestingly, poodles, like Coco, are also at risk for IVDD, so she might need to be careful too. Bandit is another character who ended up sick, and it was Bluey and Bingo's fault. In the episode Fancy Restaurant, Bandit and Chili play along with their daughter's imaginative game, pretending to be on a romantic dinner date while Bluey and Bingo run a pretend restaurant. The trouble starts when Bingo cooks a bizarre dish made from a mix of random foods and proudly serves it to her parents. And Bandit eating, that turns out to be a terrible mistake. He quickly starts feeling sick and ends up vomiting in the backyard. Considering all the questionable ingredients in that meal, it's entirely possible he ended up with a mild case of food poisoning. Old age is a stage of life where both the body and mind start to slow down. And Bluey doesn't shy away from reflecting this reality. Grandpa Bob, Bandit's father, is already quite advanced in years, and his memory isn't what it used to be. Even in his younger days, he occasionally forgot the names of his kids, though whether that was due to a poor memory or just not paying close attention is unclear. Nowadays, however, Bob's forgetfulness is much more noticeable. While it could simply be a case of normal aging, some fans have speculated that he might be dealing with something more serious. One possibility is a vitamin B deficiency, which can affect memory and cognitive function. But a more concerning thought is that Bob might be in the early stages of Alzheimer's or another form of dementia. Since the show is told from the perspective of the kids, we don't get insight into the serious conversations the adults might be having behind the scenes. It's not just Bluey's main characters who fall sick. In the episode The Quiet Game, there's a little boy in a wheelchair who appears in the background. Since the boy is just an extra, we don't know why he's in a wheelchair. But that hasn't stopped fans from speculating. Maybe he has a developmental condition that affects his mobility, or perhaps he recently had surgery and is temporarily unable to walk. Many people use wheelchairs while recovering from medical procedures, so that's definitely a possibility. In the end, it's likely that even the creators of Bluey didn't assign a specific backstory to him. He wasn't included to be part of a major storyline. He was simply there to make the scene feel more authentic, and yet that small decision had a big impact. In the episode Mr. Monkey Jocks, Bandit decided it was time for a toy clean-out, convinced that Bluey and Bingo had way too many. Of course, the idea of parting with their beloved Mr. Monkey Jocks wasn't easy, so the sisters set out to prove he was too special to give away. At first, it seemed like just another lesson in letting go of old toys, but the episode took a touching turn. In the end, some toys did get donated, including Mr. Monkey Jocks, but instead of being forgotten, he found a new home with a sick child in the hospital. The little boy's face lit up when he received the toy, turning what could have been a sad moment into one of the most heartwarming in the series. It's one of those small but powerful details that Bluey does so well. Maybe one day, when that boy grows up, he'll pass Mr. Monkey Jocks on to another child who needs a little extra comfort. And that's a wrap on some of the times Bluey tackled illness in unexpected ways. Whether it's small details or major moments, the show always finds a way to make these topics feel natural and thoughtful. Did we miss any sick characters you've noticed? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on more Bluey content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.